it's Ryan from Fowler Photography, and I've got a tutorial for you on how to create that dreamy effect in your image. So this works really well with a lot of forest shots with light rays or a sunset that you want to give that really sort of high key, that's the word I'm looking for, high key type of dream effect with that really soft looking light or water or whatever it is in your shot, and you want to get that effect in your photo. So the way we do this is a thing called the Orton Effect. This is what we do to get that really soft dreamy look. Now you do have to do this in Photoshop. It gives much better results than what you can get in Lightroom. Lightroom, you can just sort of decrease the clarity, and that works a little bit, but it gives nowhere near the right result that you're looking for. So first thing we're going to do is I've got my image here open in Photoshop, and I've got my layer 0 here. It might come up as background for you, and I'm going to just hit Command J on the keyboard and copy it and make a duplicate of that layer, and then I'll rename this Orton. You can, on a PC, you can hit Control J, or you just click and drag that down to the create new layer, and that will make a duplicate of it. Now first thing we're going to do is, with this layer selected, we're going to go up to Image in the menu bar, come down to Apply Image down here, almost lost it for a minute there, and you want the same settings as mine. So you want Layer Merged, RGB, Multiply, and Opacity 100%. And just hit OK. That'll apply it to this image. And then with that layer still selected, your copy layer still selected, go here to the blend mode and change that to screen. And that will brighten it up again. So you can turn this on and off, and you can see the difference in there already. But now we're going to add that real dreamy effect. So we're going to come up here to Filter in the menu bar, come down to Blur and Gaussian Blur. Now with the radius, I like to try and keep it somewhere between 10 and 25, just for the sake of the effect. I've heard before that you base it on your megapixels, so for me it would be 20 because I'm shooting on a 6D. That's a little bit too blurry for me, so I'm going to bring this down to 10, round about 10.1, there we go. So that looks a bit better because I can still just see the outlines of things that I want to see. And then I will hit OK. Now this is going to apply the blur effect, and as you can see, it's given the image that really soft, dreamy effect. But to take this a bit further, because it's applied to the whole image, I don't want that, because there's detail in this jetty that I want to keep, and little bits of detail in different places. So I'm going to hold the Option key, which is an Alt key on a PC, come down here to Add New Layer Mask, and that's going to come up black. Now the reason I do this is because now I can paint with the brush in white, and it's going to paint onto this layer mask and reveal just the sections that I want to give the Orton effect to, and not the entire image. So I'll select my brush, which is the B key on the keyboard, and I'll come down here, make sure my foreground color is white. I've got my opacity at 100%, and that is because if I want to change the look of the Orton effect, or how vibrant it is, I'll actually change the opacity of the layer rather than the brush. So I'll zoom in here, and I want to apply it first to the sky, and I'll just start by painting in a little bit here. I've got a nice soft brush as well, so I'll just paint a bit onto the sky, and I'm just doing this really quickly for the sake of the video. And now, if you look, I haven't finished the whole sky yet, of course, but if you look at this side compared to this side, you'll see the difference. And if I switch it on and off, you can see it makes it a lot brighter, gives it a bit more of a high key look, and adds that dreaminess effect to it. And it's actually looked alright in the edge of these trees because it seems to show a bit of that colour coming through. So I'll do this side of the sky, and I'm just going around the jetty here. I'm really not being careful at all, as you can see, sort of painting onto everything, including the jetty, which in the final image I wouldn't do, but for the sake of the video, I'm doing it this way. Alright, and then I'll do this section as well. To change the size of the brush using the keyboard, I'm using the sort of square bracket keys, which are usually just above the enter key. That's how you change brush size inside of Photoshop without right clicking or going up to the little brush adjustment size up there. Makes it a lot quicker for your workflow. Alright, so let me just zoom out, and as you can see, it's added a much brighter effect, and I do like that effect on some sunset images. This image isn't the greatest of skies. It sort of started to cloud over a little bit. I'm just going to paint in here on the water a little, just to add to that effect just a little bit more. And if I change the visibility, you can see the difference. Now it's added quite a dreamy effect onto it. I could go and do the whole rest of the sky if I really wanted to, but I can't be bothered for the video. So I can paint in under here, and it brings it out a bit more, and you've got that really nice, soft, dreamy effect. Now, if you wanted to take this a step further, actually first I'll show you how to change the opacity. What you want to do is click on the layer here, not the layer mask, but you want the actual layer, and click next to the opacity and bring it down. So you can see how that can change the effect. So let's just say I left it at 70%. It's not as bright. You can see more of the shapes in the clouds compared to what it was at 100%, where it's really starting to blur it out a little. So I'll bring that back down to around about 70, and that's where I'm happy with it. I like it where it is there. It's given that effect, but it's not blown out the sky completely or anything like that. Now, to take this one step further is keep the layer selected and go up here to color balance. And this is where you can actually just adjust the colors where the Orton effect has been applied. Whoops. So here you can see that the Orton effect is obviously just applied in this section, and I can change the entire color balance of the image. But the reason that it's doing the entire image is because this color balance layer is affecting the whole thing. But if I hold the Option key and see where it's got that little box come up with the down arrow, I'm holding the Alt key on a PC here, you can click, and that will apply it just to this layer, which is the Orton effect. So let's say I bring up that again. Now you saw before that it affected the whole image, and now it's only affecting the areas that I've applied the Orton effect to. So let's just say I wanted to make it a little warmer, a little bit more red, bring that up, a little bit more magenta, and I will close out of that, and there we go. So that is a very rough addition of the Orton effect to an image. Now, it doesn't take long. You can do it quicker than what I've done, but it's a little bit longer on the video because I've been explaining it. You don't have to go through and apply the color balance if you really don't want to. but you can see the difference there, and it looks quite good. Personally, I'm a fan of that. Now I'll take that back up a little bit to 78. There we go. So that looks a bit better to me. And then all I do is just hit Command S or Control S on a PC and save that, so it sends it back to Lightroom, and then I can make any final little tweaks and I've got a finished image. Hope you enjoyed this quick tutorial. Please do like, comment, subscribe, let me know what you thought in the comments below. Make sure you go to the website and check out the Lightroom Learning Center if you want to see more videos about learning Photoshop and Lightroom. Adding more in there every single week, and it's growing and growing really well. There's a Facebook group too. All the links are in the description below. I will see you in the next video.